I do want to recognize how fortunate we are, how thankful we are to have so many people here in the room here today, particularly because everybody here in the room is dedicated to one purpose, and that's serving the Kenyan people and enabling the prosperity to continue to grow so that all people in Kenya can lead dignified lives. And I think that's something to be proud of, that everybody here is dedicated to that really important process. As was mentioned, this is not meant to be a speech, but remarks. As a diplomat, I give one recommendation, and that would be not to try to follow a group such as Black Coffee. That's a tough office to follow. Really a great illustration of both the challenges and then the opportunities that we have when we come together to identify the challenges that are facing community members, but to work together coherently, civil society organizations, NGOs, and the government in order to address those in a transparent and effective way. So, Governor Kahika, when people were coming up on the stage, she was saying, oh, this is all about working together, right? And I think that's exactly right, because that's the only way we can be effective, is if we work together cohesively. And so this is really a call to action. As was mentioned, today we get to celebrate the launch of 3 programs that USAID and the US government is proud to support. And as a reminder, USAID is part of the US Embassy, part of the US government, and all the resources that we receive, those are coming from US taxpayers, the US people. So all this is basically a symbolic partnership between the American people and the Kenyan people who are committed to creating a better world for all the world's citizens. Because every individual has the right to lead a dignified life where they have access to basic health care, they can provide for their children, and they can grow and prosper. And so today we're celebrating 3 projects that in total represent 3.5 billion Kenyan shillings of investment in order to do that in partnership in order to achieve those goals as we go forward. And the one thing that I think we've already heard about today that really underscores what we're here to do is really encapsulated in just one word: trust. When you look across the world, it's really hard to determine, what's working in different countries around the world. But there's one question you can ask a citizen of any country in the world that will tell you with really pretty good accuracy how well that country's doing and how happy that citizenry is in the prospects for future development. And that question is, do you trust your county, your local, your national government? How do you feel about your government? And the higher the level of trust, the more likely that the people are going to be happy, the more likely that that country is going to make progress and move forward. But we know trust doesn't just appear. It has to be earned. It has to be delivered. And that's why the first project that we're really here to celebrate and launch is the ability for all voices to be heard, for all Kenyans to have the opportunity to share in a constructive way, engage with their county officials and their national government officials. And that is the initiative, the so-called LDO initiative that we're highlighting here today, that will hopefully enable that deep constructive engagement with the county and making sure that voices are heard. Because that's the first stage in having people trust each other. Am I being heard? Do I feel like people are listening to me? But the second part of that, it's not just about being heard. People have to see that there's changes occurring in their community. And that's why it's so important, and I know the governor and all the governors here are working hard to both make sure that they can collect and utilize what resources they have, and then other NGOs and partners such as USAID can provide in partnership to make sure all those resources are utilized as effectively and efficiently as possible to meet those needs of the citizenry. So that's why the second project here we're proud to launch is partnering together with government to help them, enable them to do that. Because I think here there's a commitment to do that. And we want to make sure, to the degree we can, that we help that the government can fulfill that commitment. In this case, making sure that healthcare service delivery fills some of the gaps that exist, like they do here in Kenya and basically every country around the world as well. And the last bit, though, is, like in any country around the world, things happen that are not intended, that people you don't want. There's inefficiencies. There's corruption sometimes. There's things that occur But when government's committed to addressing them, the first thing that has to happen is they have to know what's happening. And so that's the third piece of what we're launching here today, is enhancing the ability for citizens to detect and report when they see things happening in their communities, particularly in the health sector, so that they can be addressed and it can be corrected, and so that the services being provided continue to do so in the most effective and efficient way possible as we go forward as well. I wanted to highlight one thing that I think is really important as well, is if you see these organizations here, they're local organizations. Transparency International with a local chapter. And this underscores one of the commitments in particular USAID has been prioritizing, is we want to, whenever possible, partner with local organizations who are here, who have the knowledge, and can engage with the citizens in the national and county government in the most effective and efficient way possible. And I want to congratulate my team for doing all the hard work to capture those opportunities. And we very much look forward to move forward to that as well as we go forward. So lastly, again, I just want to congratulate all of you here who have committed to this shared purpose. It's a real pleasure to be out here. We're celebrating partnerships in terms of the community organization with 11 different counties, and then 5 different counties in particular where we're working on the effectiveness of healthcare and other service delivery, and the Transparency International work in terms of combating corruption and other issues. And I think the fact, as I mentioned when I came, that all you are here today is a recognition that everybody here is committed to those purposes. And it's a real pleasure and honor, and why I enjoy what I do and why I enjoy working with all our colleagues and all of you, is to work with people who have that dedication and that commitment to making this world a better place. So thank you very much for being with here today. Asante Sana.